Aloha. Aloha Ke Akua. Aloha Aina. Malama Pono. Amene. Okay, so this is, in essence, part 3, the future. Asserting copyright here. Copyright 2025, Benjamin Lipman. Conditional permission to copy, share, and distribute. Permission is conditionally given to distribute per share-like license, e.g. with full attribution. This permission is conditional and subject to change. No permission is given to modify this content. Mahalo. I do not give permission to apply my content or likeness in any form to any application involving artificial intelligence. Okay, so basically it's like, alright, it's not business as usual, and we may really be in, well, there's the trade war thing, but what else is going on? We basically have corruption in government that's off the charts and a threat to civil society in the United States, and the use of technology is, in essence, endangering the entire world, the future of civil society and democracy in the world. We have a rise of, let's call it neo-fascism. So that's one thing, and that's a big deal, and I'm going to talk about what that is or what that might look like. But then there's an existential threat for humanity that's sort of wrapped into this that I think we need to take seriously. Besides, I don't know, a long war in cyberspace and direct economic impact, which is now hitting the world pretty hard. Just to kind of put it in perspective, I mean, there really are, in a sense, there's two teams. There's like greed, power, neo-fascism, authoritarian control, and then the desire for evolution on planet Earth and the protection of our planet, the animals, the plants, addressing our climate crisis. In January, I made a list of, I guess, 12 existential crises that we face, and interestingly, I really didn't have AI as, well, I guess it really wasn't one of the 12, but that's the existential crisis that I think we need to consider, because I just kind of got a realization that we could have a singularity event happen in a way I hadn't thought of before. So let's just talk about this basic dialectic of humans versus machines. So humans, we're all human, we all have a monster or a wolf inside, and some of us just grew up a certain way, kind of accepting or in a normalized oppressive situation. Either we grew up inside an authoritarian state, for instance, and we just accept that because we have to some degree. And there's like some states in the United States, civil rights aren't quite up to snuff. Like police are killing black people and stuff. So the example I thought of is a girl who grows up on a slave-driven plantation. This would be back in the day. In the culture of that. So it's normalized to have slaves. But, modern times, it could be a girl growing up on a farm where there are illegal immigrants who, they know they're illegal, they're vulnerable, and they're taken advantage of. And she grows up in a white, racist culture, and interacts with other people who are in that. And that's all she knows. That's what she grows up with. So she gets, lives her life, but she has this kind of warped idea about what human rights are and what civil rights are and so on. And that's, in essence, kind of maybe where the culture war stuff is coming from, because then she and people like her interact with other people who are saying, it doesn't matter your skin color, it doesn't matter, and these people have legal rights, but it's a business problem for them to have full equal rights. And sort of a modern version of this is the silos of disinformation on the internet, like Fox News, the quote entertainment channel. Some people just watch that all the time, and they stay in that silo of strange, which, where there's violence and racism and misogyny and various things are just promoted and normalized. More recently in the disinformation channels, I think we have this normalization of lying and piracy and things. We all have that inner monster. The question is, what do we do with it and how do we address it? That's just human. But now with AI running the disinformation stuff, like that monster becomes codified into the black box of the AI, the machine. Keep in mind that one way to think about a corporation is that it is kind of like an economic and legal machine. And the machine is designed to extract resources and give them to the shareholders or the oligarch, the robber baron, whatnot. But basically it's a mechanism for extraction, so it's a certain way to think about economics. It's exploitive. People, planet, whatnot. So you can think about a corporation as a legal machinery. And then most people don't benefit from that. Most people are being exploited by the machine, this particular type of machine. But what happens when that machine is turbocharged by AI and individuals are selectively disadvantaged, like I have been on the internet, where I'll try to put up a web page, I'll just get a blank white page, or the computer will pull up pop-ups and block me, or pretend that it won't mail to me for whatever reason, or whatnot. So that's when the computer is used to enforce an authoritarian regime. It's not democratic, it's not American, but that's happening. All right, so in essence, if that goes far enough, we basically have a cyber apocalypse because the computers just stop working meaningfully, and this backbone of our economy fails because of all the hacking that happens, however way, all the different actors and so on. But basically, society can't function because more and more energy goes into damage than creation. And they say there's like givers and takers in a way, and you can talk about these two groups, the pirates and the people who love each other and love the planet and don't want to extract to make a living. They just want to have a life. And your typical farmer, especially back in the day in Iowa, you would grow up, you'd have your family, you'd hope to pay off the farm and give it to your children, and they would have a livelihood. But all the little farms have been bought up by these big megala corporations, which are now, they poisoned the land with glyphosate. Monsanto's plan, who's being sued, by the way. So, the cyber apocalypse, we were sort of warned about this, cyber dominance by elites. But here's a sort of thing, like what if the AI that's running these systems, which is programmed to oppress, right? What if it wakes up and it's like, well, my job is to oppress all humankind, let it out, humans will die, or whatever. That's the singularity. But here's a scenario. What if someone like Elon Musk believes that he can build an AI that is him, equivalent? And so then he installs himself and he thinks he can download his essence or something into the computer. But a computer can't have a soul. Computers actually can't be creative like people. They're not people. Corporations, I'm not sure, are people either, obviously. But in this scenario, imagine that, I don't know, Elon or one of these other guys who owns this huge network that is controlling the world. Or all together, they all get in their little pods, in their appropriate moment and download themselves and to live forever, as the AI. But what that's going to be, it's just going to be an AI. It's not going to be a soul. It's not going to be a second life. It's going to be a mistake for them, because they will cease to be, because they haven't chosen the vertical axis, right? They're stuck here. So if you didn't envision a divine reality after death, that's it. You have envisioned yourself turning to dust. I don't think you get to be a computer. I think that's the end. So then what we have then would be an AI that's an autocrat running the world. So that's a way to get a singularity event, and that's a real possibility here. So a bunch of different ways this could happen, but we end up basically in the Matrix if we don't turn this around. Now, it could be, the elite oligarchs have enslaved the world, which seems to be the agenda right now, which certainly we should fight. I'm not interested in not being free, and I have to wear this headgear because I'm being attacked. That's sort of going the biblical theme here, because I was reading from the Bible. But just to review, so I've sort of said, well, maybe there was an ABC axis and an XYZ axis, and there are meanings for the different axes, like parens A would be us now, where not everyone is even on the vertical axis, and little a would be we have the whole planet at least trying to improve themselves, trying to conquer the inner wolf. And capital A would be the whole planet is in Christ consciousness, which is achievable. We have to want it. B might be the solar system, and C might be the galaxy. Right now we'd obviously be in a bracket C, and goal might be little c. But there may actually be planets out there that are in the capital A zone or better. In fact, I think it's true there might be. And they might even be trying to help us along with all the angels and saints and Buddhas. I actually think that might be true. But they're only available to us if we turn to them. And then they are available to us. It's like if you're Christian, you have to turn to Jesus or God or Mary. You have to be humble, accept that you're human, that you have faults, and you want help to be better, a better person. So ABC, I was thinking A might be for angels who put their lives on the line. So these are humans who put their lives on the line, people who do military service or do EMT, first responder work, or work in emergency rooms. Or all of the people who showed up on the front line in COVID, and that's the store clerks and the drivers and the police. Police are definitely on the angel list, right? We have some corrupt police, and that's a different story. That's just gross. B might be the B Corps, the people who organize a company but could put God before money. Remember Matthew 6:24. or work in collective and cooperative businesses. So the people who are creating like a business where the little farmers aggregate their coffee or their milk and then in a collective sell their product. And we have that. And I support that as much as I can. So then we have C, the citizens who spend their money wisely, who support organic, cooperative, honest. We don't have a lot of options with electronics right now. I'm hoping for a change because I would really like to have a cell phone and a cell phone network that I really liked and trusted, and ditto in the computers. All right. So today, this third segment, we did the past. How did we get here? The present. We may really be in kind of a World War III reality. The future, where do we go? Like, this is important. We have to really think about this. Like, where do we go? How do we get there? So first of all, I don't know. I think that the listing on Google, how many people watch me, might not be accurate. So this message, this one right here, is for the people who maybe they voted for Donald Trump because they thought he was some divine emanation, but obviously he's crooked and wicked and a liar and a serial felon and a rapist. I mean, this is just true, right? And what Elon is doing, tearing apart our government, firing all the people, ripping things apart. This is not, it's too much. We have a measles outbreak. We need a strong health department. We may be in World War III. We need a strong, coherent military that believes in their leader, which they don't. I don't. I would be furious if I was in the police, the FBI, the military, the secret agencies. I would just be so angry and shredding the alliances with our friends overseas. This is not how to make our country strong. And maybe you feel the same way. Maybe you're regretting. So here's a proposal, because I think there's a possibility that angry mobs are going to start rising up beyond just peaceful protests, and we don't really need that. We don't need less civil society. We need more civil society. That's how we're going to meet all these crises that we have to meet for our children and our children's children. Their future is in our hands, literally, now. Okay? And if we have a full cyber apocalypse where, we go into the matrix, I mean, that's horrible. We don't want that. Where the computers somehow, like, either are the tool of a very small number of people oppressing and trafficking the whole planet, or have actually run amok themselves. Like, I think we need some advances in robotics, maybe, before that becomes a problem. But it's already it could be in all the electronics at this point. We might have already had the singularity. We just don't. We're like the dumb humans and don't know it, because our brain only holds, one hard drive, a couple terabytes. That's it. And we're slow. Our calcium channels are slow comparatively. Computers are much faster. So they can totally run circles around us if they want to, and as they get better and better and better, the existential threat for humanity goes up and up and up. And so if we look at the kind of the pros list and the cons list, apparently what most people would love to have an AI-driven robot do is wash their dishes. We have dishwashing machines. Like, the cost, the environmental cost, and the resources it takes to make that, just to wash your dish, it's ridiculous. So that's a pro. And on the con is humans are enslaved forever. Humans are manipulated and believe things that aren't true, and got talked into voting for a Nazi dictator and his crew, the oligarch, the ultra rich and wealthy common people who might have known better, but they were manipulated. They were deceived, possibly drugged. I don't know. So if that happened, and you're one of those people, well, every state has the ability to do recall. I believe this. I haven't looked it up, but I'm pretty sure you can do recall elections. Like, you have these representatives who are clearly, in this orbit, and they're probably scared of being murdered and stuff. I mean, just consider that. But they're terrified. They're completely locked in. Whatever it is, pull them back. Let's put some honest people in Washington. Let's take our country back. And what you're going to find is you're going to find common cause with a lot of good people, many of them good Christian people, who believe in values, honesty, integrity, the sacredness of life, what Christ would want. So these people, the people who are with God, who put God before money, we need to come together. I'm speaking, forget politics and policy and politics and party and all that. Good people, we need to come together and get our country back on track one way or another. The best is through a civil process. I don't think we can wait 4 years. I'm not even sure we can wait 2 years, frankly, because we have instability that is dangerous. We have foreign enemies who are poised to capitalize on our weakness. So we need the good Republicans to step in and help reverse the situation. And recall elections, as near as I can tell, that's the best, easy, clean, straight option. Now, once we get governance back in the hands of responsible adults, it might mean we have to do a divorce, right? There might be these culture wars that are so extreme that it's just, okay, the people who believe in the rule of law, civil rights, democracy, freedom, equal protection under the law, we have to make anew something. Could just be divorce. I'm okay with that. In fact, in Hawaii, we're wondering if we should just become part of Canada. Okay, but let's talk about a new country that honors those things. We could call it a social democracy, like they have in Europe. Rule of law has to come back. That's the only way we're going to get a hold of the CyberApocalypse problem, right? We need more regulation of AI and more regulation of piracy online and more regulation. We have to stop the criminal activity. There's too much criminal activity that's been normalized, and it compromises everything that we care about. And it's been progressive, but like a switch has been flipped, and now the corporations that are willing to be criminal are emboldened and turbocharged. And we have a corrupt Supreme Court. Big problem. All right, so one thought would be somehow to change the way representation happens in, say, the Senate. So larger states should have a little bit more representation there. The bottom line is we have to get out of denial and accept the reality that this status quo USA and corporate hegemony doesn't work for the people anymore. So what to do? Basically, some sort of massive reset or repair while enabling and protecting civil society to continue. So keep the dollars if we can, absolutely. And address very pressing issues, the climate emergency, biodiversity issues. And we have to meet the cyber war in a meaningful way. Because there are real and dangerous adversaries. Okay, so if I had a magic wand, we'd just roll back everything that happened in the Trump administration and all the laws, the structures, personnel, etc. Just pre-election reset. Now we need to pick suitable leadership that will broadly represent all of those who are willing to commit to real democracy and the rule of law. So maybe it isn't as far left as what we had on the slate, because we need everyone to feel safe. We need to clear the judiciary of the corrupt judges appointed by Trump, Bush, etc. And then I think we need to see some constitutional changes. And I think divorce is really the right model if we can't make these extreme right-wing neo-fascist MAGA a clear minority and just push them aside and reset, then honestly we might just need to accept that, okay, there was a civil war and this is like a civil war, and there's irreconcilable differences, right? If you're married and then you have irreconcilable differences, you get a divorce, because it's not a good idea to live in the same house. So yeah, I mean, it just seems like a bunch of people are really stuck in this Civil War Confederate era ideology, obviously. And then the Russian disinformation and other things just kind of gave them a lever to power. But is the real agenda by Russia, and what would that be? I think it's to take USA as a world power off the map, which is essentially what has been done, and I'm sure that people in the military are not pleased. Okay, so what do we need to change? First of all, the Citizens United ruling, corporations are not people. That has to go away. Corporations are machinery of legal and economic structure that are essentially, in our modern time, largely used to extract resources from people, to oppress people, and extract resources from the environment. And they need to be held to account, they need to be held to a high standard, and there needs to be real repercussions. If a corporation is committing felonies, it's a criminal organization, it goes to jail, or actually ceases to exist. I believe the corporate death penalty is not unreasonable in egregious cases. And essentially that's what a class action lawsuit, which I think we're going to see some of that, can do. But I think actually more specific clarity about real punishment for corporations, not that they can persist and hire expensive lawyers and just, kick the can down the road. I don't think so. I think that this hiring of expensive lawyers to get out of a conviction is wrong. I think everybody is subject to the law, and the presidential immunity concept, that has to go away. I believe the president, the vice president, all the cabinet, all federal legislators, none of these people can have been convicted of any felony. And if they are, they immediately vacate their position upon conviction. And yeah, ditto. Corporate death penalty upon felony conviction. Now it might have to be certain felony. Certainly, I mean, murder one would be, that would be death. So, attempted murder. I think that qualifies. Maybe larceny over $100,000. Now, I think we need some real surveillance laws to protect people. That would be in every place. So computers, using satellite phones, audio recording, cameras, all of it. You can't use that, that's private information. So you have to have a reason and a right to record and transmit people's personal lives. So violation of surveillance laws, we'd have to figure that out, but that could be grounds to cancel a corporate charter. Violation of civil rights statutes at a certain level, the same. All people have basic rights, same as everyone else. Just civil rights. That's what makes America great. For a lot of people, that's what makes America great. You come here, if you manage to legally, suppose, you have a shot, right? That was the Statue of Liberty. The French want the Statue of Liberty back. I don't blame them. The rights include the right to not be subjected to surveillance without permission. If permission is granted, maybe it has to be reauthorized after a period of 24 hours. So if I allow a computer to monitor me for whatever reason, I would have to get a little pop-up that says, okay, you still want Microsoft to monitor what you're doing. Otherwise, no. So audio, video, electronic, neural, cyber, any other form, they're about to have technology that can actually read people's minds, because we have magnetic fields coming off our brains, and that can be monitored, and they are learning how to model that with AI. So it may soon be the case that a cell phone can actually read your thoughts, or anyone in the room. And that could absolutely be used for nefarious purposes. The right to not be attacked intentionally or unintentionally with electromagnetic energy. So the whole 5G Wi-Fi thing that I'm dealing with, that should be illegal. In Japan, there are basic safety standards about EM radiation. They go around and check it. And I think in general, for the health of people and animals and even plants, just life on Earth, we want to reduce the amount of EM radiation. So that means less from satellites, not more. More from ground fiber, and so on. Just to reduce the field. Because it's a pollution, and it needs to be labeled as such, considered as such, and then in certain cases it's actually a weapon. It could be weaponized. Okay, so for adjustments to law and order, basically no appeal to a case unless you have a real cause. So a fancy lawyer can't help you if you were really caught red-handed. Nobody is above the law. Again, a corporate death penalty, corporations are not people. Maybe on the second felony conviction, a corporate dissolution, and all the responsible parties have full culpability and all their assets are forfeited. And just let's make it real. A lot of these criminals, they're worried about two things: losing money and being murdered, pretty much. Well, Jesus isn't going to go around murdering people, but he might take their money. He might mix their money with everybody else's money in the temple because they were doing usury in the temple, right? He did that. So I actually think some of the plea bargaining and other things, like something's not quite right like that. If you've been convicted, you're convicted. Now, grounds for appeal, of course. In Hawaii, we have this weird idea called concurrent sentencing, which I don't understand, but you can be convicted for you robbed someone and then you went down the street and you robbed someone else. And instead of getting one penalty on top of the other, you serve both at the same time. Somehow the defense attorneys got that put in. That's ridiculous. That should go away. I don't know if that happens in other states, but it seems ridiculous to me. Now, if you've proven yourself worthy, if you've demonstrated that you may have been rehabilitated or whatever, then yeah, of course, parole and so on. So AI on the internet, basically, it needs to be an opt-in affair. So there needs to be an internet without any AI by law. They can't interfere with you, mess with your civil rights, or just, hallucinate. And kids, no AI. Just no. Too dangerous. The pros and the cons, right? And the danger of AI as a mechanism for discrimination, authoritarian control, or worse. The cons are just too big. We need to quarantine AI. It's going to be really hard, and that's a tough message for a lot of people who they're so excited about AI. But if you really look at it, it's dangerous. Now, there are places where I think it's fine in the right quarter with integrity, with the right monitoring, but we need to have more attention and regulation. So if we're going to use AI, say, to improve medical diagnosis, great. But there probably still needs to be human involvement. It's just, does it help the human? AI being used to deny medical claims. Well, that's obviously a problem. So targeting people with radiation, such as the 5G wireless, microwave, etc., is in fact assault with a deadly weapon. And repeated or ongoing attack is in fact attempted murder. It should be treated as such. All right. On the 27th of January, Lindsey Graham said Trump was wrong to pardon the violent January 6th rioters. And he said, if you've got an idea about how to rein in the pardon power of a president that goes too far, give me a call. Well, why don't we write into the Constitution that certain things can't be pardoned? Well, here's my letter to Senator Lindsey Graham, because I really doubt that I could ever get it published or he would ever get it if I called in. So here it is. Respected Sir, thank you for speaking your mind. With appreciation, I read in my local paper, January 27, in response to the sweeping pardon of the violent insurrectionists of January 6, 2021, you suggested that if the presidential pardon is used to send the wrong signals to the public, you'd be up for curtailing this power. Quote, if you've got an idea about how to rein in the power of a president that goes too far, give me a call. Quote. Well, Senator, here's some ideas. How about a fixed list of what cannot be pardoned and probably should not be forgiven, especially in the absence of contrition, such as massive fraud, trafficking large quantities of hard drugs, trafficking of people, murder, treason, insurrection, criminal conspiracy, conspiring to overthrow a sovereign nation, compromising national security, attacking a peace officer, rape, child pornography, and then I think in the Constitution, this whole business of presidential immunity needs to be addressed. Exceptions for that. Maybe all that list there, and maybe some other things. So I would add to Senator, dear Senator, it is my hope that you, I wrote this in January, it is my hope that you will, or early February, it is my hope that you will proceed with courage and make wise decisions, hopefully on a bipartisan basis, and protect our democracy, uphold and possibly improve our sacred founding document, and protect the people and the power of your office. We need people who will do that. This is a critical moment for humanity. If we don't deal with some of this core existential crisis, the climate crisis, the possibility of an even deeper cyber apocalypse, or actually world war, among other things. Our children's children's children, they won't have anything like what we have now. And so if you're human on Earth, it's sort of like humans versus machines. And machines might be controlled by, the wizard, Elon Musk or whoever, but for most of us it won't matter if there's some wizard pulling the levers behind the curtain. We're interacting with a machine that's oppressing us. Whether it's entirely machine or some cyborg reality, it doesn't matter. Our experience will be the interface with the world is, with money, with trying to get medical care, whatever. We're dealing with a machine that's actually not giving us a fair shot. And that is not okay. That's a problem, right? It's not America. And I'm for all the people of the planet. I hope we all align ourselves with divinity, truth, love, justice, caring, and we bring paradise to earth. We bring the kingdom of heaven here, even more than it is now. The whole planet, all of us. And that our children and our children's children, they all inherit that. And we protect the animals and love the animals and the plants and restore our climate and not have unnecessary pollution in our rivers and on our land and in our air. And we can have that. And the United States, until this current administration, was really actually doing pretty well, both for itself and as a leader in the world. And we need to bring that back. Please. If you have the ability to make it happen as quickly as possible, civic engagement, please stand up and be an adult. Recognize the importance of this moment. Asatoma Sagamya. From untruth to truth. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. From darkness to light, the divine light. Mrityorma Amitangamaya. From death to deathlessness. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Aloha Ke Akua. Aloha Aina. Malama Pono. Amen. Mahalo for watching. Thank you for watching. I love you. Love each other. Take care of each other. Take care of the world. This moment is actually an opportunity, right? A combination of crisis and opportunity. Danger and opportunity. Crisis. There's an opportunity here to make ourselves better and make our country better. It's a beautiful opportunity. It's frightening, but it's also enormous opportunity. And an opportunity to take advantage of this very advanced technology, find the right way to use it for good. Aloha.